Hey, this is Scott Photography Bonsai. In this video, I'll be going over the Canon EF-S 10-18mm f4.5-5.6 IS STM lens for their APS-C's censored cameras. This is a relatively inexpensive lens, under $300 US, new. Of course, you can find it used, which I did in this case. Picked it up used, and it's very cost effective. They have a few other options. The closest one is about double the price. That's the 10-22mm. So let's go over this lens. Start with the physical features. Has 67mm filter thread. Very nice to have, especially in my case. With the video stuff I do, I want ND filters on there. Potentially want polarizers, and having that filter thread is very helpful. It's a standard size, so no issues finding filters for this lens. It does have the AF/MF switch as well as the optical image stabilization switch. Very nice to have it right on the lens, easy to access and change. The lens has a plastic mount. There are 7 aperture blades. I was able to film the aperture in action. Pretty challenging on this type of camera and lens, but you can see it there, see if it's nice and round. The focus ring is not mechanically linked. Very smooth action to it, goes all the way around non-stop either direction. Let's go over a few properties of this lens. 35mm film equivalent is 16-29mm, so still very wide angle on these APS-C sized cameras. Focuses down to 0.22 meters or 0.72 feet from where the sensor is in the camera. Not too bad. It is a little bit better actually in that case compared to their more expensive 10-22mm lens. Magnification is 0.15x at 18mm. Image quality wise, this lens is pretty decent for the price in my opinion. I haven't taken too many photos with it as I use it mostly for video, but I'll show you some sample photos I've taken, and I'll put some on Flickr as well. You can download and check those out, but not too bad, especially considering the price. Here are the MTF charts if you're interested. Let's go over the good and bad points of this lens. We'll first start off with the bad points. Get those over with. Has the plastic mount. That's not ideal. It does work well enough. This is actually a used lens and it has held up well. I don't know what the previous owner did with it, but it looks fine, it works fine, it functions just fine with that plastic mount. This lens has small maximum apertures, just fine for many situations, but if you need something with larger apertures and wide angle, you'll have to look elsewhere, but in my case, good enough. I don't really have a need for large apertures with these ultra-wide lenses. This lens is designed for their APS-C cameras, of course. I knew that going in. That's really the only Canon camera that I have. There is no weather resistance with this lens. In my case, I would have liked some type of weather resistance because I sometimes do go out in the rain and do video work, but it isn't there. Considering the price, it's not a huge deal. There's no dedicated aperture ring. With Nikon and Canon these days, they really don't put those rings on their lenses. I bought this lens used, but I assume, especially with Canon, it doesn't come with a hood. Again, not a big deal. I don't really need it from the results I've been getting, but it is available if you are interested in the hood. So let's go over the better points of this lens, the features that I really like, think work really well, especially considering the price. This lens has the optical image stabilization. In Canon's case, it's very helpful to have that with the lens because their sensors don't have it. Probably one of the best features is that ultra quiet STM focusing motor. Very, very nice in video work, which is the big reason I picked this up.
You need to go back home and hammer it back down. It's a little bit better. I kind of bent it a little bit back in, but it's still
Nice.
making this a lot more resistant than it.
It is a ultra wide lens. It's very cost effective. So if you need ultra wide, this is your cheapest option. You still have nice image quality. It's simple, it's effective, it works how you would expect. It's quiet and it is smooth. I bought the Canon Rebel SL2 specifically for video work with these YouTube videos. It's been extremely helpful in those situations because of the great autofocus, and I wanted another lens to get wider. The kit lens just wasn't wide enough in some situations, especially with the vlogging with situations where I was doing interviews, things like that. I wanted that wider focal length, and this was the best option considering the price and the motor inside. So I wanted an STM motor, I wanted the wider focal length, and this was it. Great price, picked it up used, even cheaper than new, and it's just worked very well in the situations that I need it to work in. So all that said, I really have no complaints for this lens outside of the little things like a plastic mount, but it just works. It's just no issues. And if you are interested in a wider focal length, you have the APS-C Canons and you have the kit lens, you're thinking, I want something wider, this is a good option. So that was a Canon EF-S 10-18mm lens. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. That helps me out a lot, making these videos, continuing on with this channel as much as I can. All the likes and shares help out a lot as well. Thanks again.